What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome to a special conversation. That's right, with Prime Talk, conversations in prime time, with none other than DJ Slash. What's going on? What's going on, beautiful people? What's going on? Welcome to another episode of Conversation in Prime Time, featuring none other than DJ Slash. Good stuff, man. Real good stuff. Hey, man, that track's so hot. Track was so hot.
Grand
You
Rising,
feel some
Grand
type of way,
Rising, my
man.
brother. Come on, man.
What's
You
going on
want to
with you, man?
put a little shooter D on it, dog? What you trying to do, dog?
You know what I'm saying? 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 That's what I'm talking about, man. Track was so hot. I had to get on that, man. Had to get on that, man.
Come
What's
on,
up
man.
with you? What's good, man?
I did it for the culture, man. Everything's good,
That
man.
is. That is, man. We got so many
Especially
moving
when
parts over here, ladies and gentlemen. We had a time getting the streams going in multiple directions. So bear with us, bear with us, bear with us. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. We're talking about Helplessly in Love. There's a Slash collab again. Got me to thinking when we were talking about Helplessly in Love, man. I thought about love versus lust in my
well,
heyday,
that's what it
back in the
is. Let
day.
me let me let me make a slight correction now. It's helplessly in lust.
Helplessly in lust.
Yes, sir.
Mm, mm, mm. What were you thinking about when you come up with this topic, Slash?
Definitely coming off of that song because I know that's one of your favorite New Edition tracks.
You already know.
Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, but wanted to
You
flip it
already know.
and keep it a little bit more, a little bit more kind of serious, kind of
Right, right.
not everything just being on one accord, so to speak, because there's a lot of people that's helplessly in love. And then
Exactly.
I think there's 50% of people that's helplessly in lust or have been in
Mhm.
lust.
Even at this grown age, man, even at this age, we have people who's helplessly in lust. We're gonna talk about it. I jotted down some bullet points, took some notes on Slash's topic, and we're gonna get into it. But let's say
Hmm.
hi to the folks on Instagram. We're streaming live on Instagram again. What's going on, Wendy? I see you, lady. Good stuff. Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate you
What's going
tuning
on?
in. All right, good
Grand
stuff, man. Good
Rising.
stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff, man. So yeah, go on, kick it off, man. We're talking about helplessly in love again.
Well, I
What's
mean,
that?
definitely, like I said, man, it's just it's too much of people thinking this, that, and the third, and everybody's
Right.
always just concentrating on one side of it as far as love and being in love. But it's not always that, especially when you're dealing with different relationships, situationships,
Mm-hmm.
engagements, marriages, divorces, wanting that old thing back. It's just
Right.
sometimes you just get caught up,
Yeah.
and instead of that love, you're missing that lust.
Right. 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 You know, man, when we were talking about this, I think it was last week when we had a conversation
That
about
was
this.
this week. No, that was
It,
this
it was
week.
this week. It was this week.
Okay.
I got
Mm.
into. I was thinking about this one particular situation where I was seriously, helplessly in lust
Ooh.
out there in Los Angeles when we got that deal and we were moving our things from the Beverly Hilton to our condo.
That's where you
I
get the
think I was
robe
about
at Beverly Hills.
yeah,
That joint, you get the robe, right?
yeah. So we was at the Beverly Hilton. The budget was massive, so we had a good time. But we stayed at the Beverly Hilton maybe about 2-3 months before we found
Mm.
housing. Before the people found
Right.
housing for us. So once
Okay.
they found us a condo. out in
Mm-hmm.
Studio City.
Okay.
This girl there, she was over the move. Her name was Erin.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget this girl ever.
Okay.
So I was young, maybe 20 something or whatever, 19, 20.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
so we met. I was immediately attracted to her. Everything
So let
physical.
me ask.
Everything physical.
Let me stop you right there.
Go ahead.
Helplessly in love. Oh no, what is that saying?
It was lust.
Love,
It was
love
lust.
at first sight, or was it
Nah, it wasn't
lust at
love.
first
It
sight?
definitely wasn't love. Definitely wasn't love. And my young hormones was all over the place. I wanted it
Hmm.
badly. Wanted it badly. But
Okay.
and that was a quite interesting time for
Okay.
myself on that journey in LA. But that was my
Right.
first experience with seriously lust, like lustful. I lust after everything, her lips, everything, her whole
First.
physical. It was just off the chain. It was off the chain.
Wait. Let me get the Birdman's hands together. Now, around this time, you had to be, you had to be legal at this time. You had to be 20, 21, 20, 21, 22.
I was let's just say 21, I believe.
So you was legal. So you saying
Let's
this
say
was the
21.
first time that you was this lust at first sight?
The very first time.
Okay.
Very first time.
So also this this was one of those hands in the cookie jar type of moves.
Nah, because actually she was the record company that hired a company to do that. So it wasn't a hand in a cookie jar. It's
So
just
she was
something that
she
she
was
was helping us out, and I spent a
so
lot of
she was
time with her.
so she was on the payroll. Right? So
Yeah, for her
she was
company,
helping.
yes. Yeah.
She was helping with the logistics of
The
finding y'all these
logistics, the move,
apartments.
everything, everything, everything that had to deal with the move, to move us in. She made sure the
Okay.
movers moved everything and made sure
Mhm.
the condo was straight and ready to move in. And yeah, it was a good time.
So is this like Suzanne the Pass with Motown?
Similar, yeah. I'd say
Yeah.
similar, yeah.
So she was on the clock helping with the logistics of moving y'all from point A to
Yeah.
point B, and
Uh-huh.
then somewhere along the line, you I want you to see the motion. You took the jar off the cookie jar
Yeah, and then mix that little
and
gumbo in there with a little gumbo and a couple little
gum
spices.
more in the cookie jar.
Hey man, I
Okay,
had to.
okay.
And I thought about that as you were talking about it, when you're talking about helplessly and lust. I was like, damn, that was some serious lust because we
Mm,
stayed connected even after I left Los Angeles. We stayed
right.
connected. And every time I went back, I had to see her. I had to see her.
Well, you had to see it because she was working for the record company.
Both.
So some people call that double dipping.
I
You know,
know you
like when you
said you
got your chip.
I know you tell me that all the time.
I'm
Don't say
saying,
some people. Ladies and gentlemen, Slash said it all the time when I'm in a situation with the beautiful young lady, business wise. Is oh, so you got your hand in the cookie jar.
or, sometimes people double dip with their chip. You're only supposed to
Yeah.
get one dip
But
when
isn't
you
that good
do
though,
it.
man?
Then,
When you double dip, especially when it's an Oreo, man. It's an
hey
Oreo. You
man,
dip it in almond milk. Oh man, that's a good thing, man.
hmm
That's a good thing, huh? Isn't it?
we talking about the OGs, or we talking about the golden Oreos, right?
I'm just teasing with your teasing with your teasing with you. Good
Now they got
stuff,
those
man.
double stuffs too, man. So I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
yeah, yeah. Gotcha. Good
So
stuff,
so
man.
continue on, man. Continue on. So
Yeah.
she she
So I mean, it was so the lust. I mean,
mhm,
everything was physical with her, straight physical. She was highly intelligent.
mhm,
Honestly, though, but at that age, I was more attracted
to the
to
outer.
mentally,
Yeah,
which she was easy on the eyes. She was very easy on the eyes.
right.
So
I mean,
yeah,
obviously, but was there a pecking order within the group? Like everybody get to draw straws or something,
that there was no
before.
straw because that was all for me. That there was no straws. No.
Man,
Never. That was never.
you know,
Yeah, Michael and Lewis knew that. Everything. First dibs was for me always.
wow, wow. So it sounded like your hat was like a shark fin, man. Like, like Cool J, man.
Hey man.
So I mean, but then when seeing someone and catching into that so-called love at first sight,
Hmm.
so that was a different emotion, feeling, reaction.
Totally different. Totally different emotion. Totally
Hmm.
different and everything. Right. But we got a comment
Right.
here. Wendy saying nasty ass. She funny. Wendy's
Yes,
funny.
indeed.
But anyway, so it was a different emotion, and now, and as a the former me
Hmm.
opposed to the present me. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? That was a totally different. There's two totally different, distinctive, different ways to feel when you talk about lust and love. So back
Hmm.
then, when I'm at that young tender age, I didn't know the difference.
Tender,
I just wanted to get it off.
tender
But
love, tender baby face, tender lover.
I wasn't that I was sensitive, but you know what I'm saying?
Nah. See, that's Ralph. Ralph was sensitive. Babyface was the tender lover. So I'm just saying, a lot of people go through these things,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
they'll only focus on the loves. Like they'll
right,
separately file this away as in, oh, that wasn't this, that wasn't that, that
right.
don't count, that's not a body, whatever, whatever, whatever. But we have to bring these things to the forefront as far as
Exactly,
conversations when you're having your relationships and these different things,
exactly.
and sometimes you just put it in the back of mind, but people kind of concentrate so much as if that's something bad or that's something you shouldn't do. And it's like you have to live life to see what's for
What
you
it
and what's
is,
not for
exactly.
you.
Because to be
Yeah.
honest with you, man, that all those experiences and all that,
Hmm.
all that stuff I did, that shaped me into who I am today. You know what I'm saying? And that
Okay.
takes me to this one bullet point that I jotted down as I'm going
Okay.
over these notes that I was
But
taking on here
before
before
you
the
do
show.
that now, yeah,
Go
but
ahead.
before you do that, incriminate yourself from this point on whether it's on the mothership or whether it's on this particular pod or whether it's on the
Yeah.
international pod with Catherine. I want you
Yeah.
to factor in this word allegedly because I know you've had
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
bleed on the
Yeah.
brain, and some of this stuff
Right,
you
right,
might not
right.
be really processing, and it might have been a dream or a daydream or something. So I want
You're
you to
right.
put that
You're
this
absolutely right.
allegedly happened.
Allegedly. Allegedly.
There we
But
go.
let's talk
There
about
we go.
love, lust versus natural attractions, right? Some define
Okay.
lust as a more intense, potentially morally, morally
Hmm.
desire compared to a natural sexual attraction, which can be
Okay.
partly
Was that
a
kind of
healthy
you
relationship. I'm
kind
sorry.
yeah?
Go ahead.
Can you give me that definition again because you kind of broke up when it sounded like you were saying worldly attraction. So give me that definition again.
No, no. Lust versus natural attractions. Some define lust as a more intense and potentially morally problematic desire compared to natural
Hmm.
sexual attractions, which can be
Okay.
part of a healthy relationship. So I've jotted down multiple things here in my notes. We'll go over
Definitions.
throughout the show. Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
multiple bullet points, but so
yeah.
that's the definition, and that's how it's defined.
Correct. As far as lust versus natural attractions.
Okay.
Absolutely. Then another one is lust versus love, right? Lust is
Hmm.
a selfish desire for personal sexual pleasure, whereas love involves deeper emotions, acceptance, and
Hmm.
connections that goes beyond the physical. That's what I was dealing
Okay.
with Aaron allegedly.
Hmm.
You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? I had I was kind of confused back then. Is this
Right.
love or is it love? When I was going back, every time I went back to LA, I was calling
Hmm.
her. Even before I touched down, I was like, hey, I'm coming through. I had to see him.
It
I confused it,
sounds
at that tender age, I confused it with love, but it wasn't love. It was lust.
it sounds like that Usher song that Jermaine wrote when he said, every time he was in L.A.
Yeah. That was that. You know what's so funny? When that song came out,
Hmm.
I thought about that. So I don't know when he came out, but
Right.
that was really my life.
Right.
in LA, back and forth, doing the crazy shit. Yeah.
That's like people say in church when the pastor start preaching that good word, a lot of people
Yeah.
think that it's about them. And when you hear a
Nah,
song like that you can relate to and be
yeah.
visual, it's like, oh man, it kind of sounds like that's something I was going through or something I should have wrote, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
So
Exactly.
let's say what was the time frame on this?
That was back in 89, I believe it was.
89. But I'm saying as far as the time spent, it was 3 months, 6 months, a year.
No, that was years because when I went back to start, I started doing remixes. Start when I was starting producing, mix
Okay.
records and all that stuff for other folks. Every time I
Hmm.
would go, I would call her. That was years later.
You
So that
sure
was
this
that was
man
a
Capri wasn't tapping into your notebook, man?
nah, but Brian McKnight was. We'll leave that there though.
Right. But you know that part part two was created before part one.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Which a
I
lot of a
wouldn't be
lot of people don't
surprised.
know that.
Yeah, I
And
would.
the record company, LA and them wasn't high on it. They were like, yeah, it's
Hmm.
cool because it
Yeah,
didn't it didn't lock in because you had two was kind of telling the pre the pre story, and
right.
then
And
Confessions was the post story.
exactly that wouldn't be so far fetched what you're talking about because if, as
Hmm.
it's like for me, for instance, being an author and a songwriter.
Hmm. Right.
Sometimes I'd write about myself. Other
Hmm.
times I'd write about other people. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it's not too far fetched what you're talking about. But I get it.
Right.
I definitely get it.
Hmm.
I definitely get it. I definitely
Well,
get it, man. Go
it's
ahead.
I'm thinking, and like I said, I listen to a lot of podcasts for research and
Hmm.
just different movies and whatnot and different books that I've read and whatnot. It's just this love thing that a lot of people try to put out into the world. A
Right,
lot of
right, right.
times it's fabricated, it's Hollywooded,
Yeah.
they put some on it. It's not realistic because
Definitely not
you have
organic.
you have more people that will try to shy away from what attracts them and what
Hmm.
feeds the beast or whatever, instead of just accepting that okay, this is just a natural reaction or a natural feeling, and
Right, right.
let me just roll with it and kind of see what's going on. I mean, you could still put your guards up, or put your where you don't have any gutter balls or whatever, put them lanes in where you don't. But I
Right,
mean, it
right,
doesn't
right.
have to go just one way. It could go five different ways.
That's right. Al Sal, we see you. We see you over there
What's
on
up?
Facebook. I see
What's
Al
going on?
Sal.
Good
He over that
evening,
vacation
brother
and
Al.
he over that vacation in Texas
Now
with the
we can't. Whoa,
grandkids.
whoa, we can't give up his spot now. We can't blow up his spot because you almost made it seem like Al and got them abs together, man. Now you out there, out there in that
Yeah,
water
he
park somewhere.
he doing pretty good at the gym. He working out. He lost, I think it's like 40, 50 pounds or something like that.
Right.
He
Yeah, he
doing real
looking
good with
good,
that.
man.
Yeah, he
He
looking
looking
good. He
like back
doing
in
real
the day,
good.
man.
Al Sal. He doing pretty
Yes,
good
sir.
though. Let's
Now,
distinguish the difference between helplessly and lust
mm-hmm,
and opposed to helplessly and love, right? So we're going to distinguish the two, right?
right,
Lust, the feeling of, is often intensely psychologically focused on physical and sexual gratification. Again,
right,
the feeling of lust is often intensely psychologically and focused on physical and sexual gratification.
right.
It can feel chaotic, as some of the stuff I was feeling with Aaron. A lot of chaotic, but it was good chaotic. It wasn't like toxic chaotic. Ego
Okay,
driven, and it's oftentimes not so sustainable. Let's just say that.
right,
Let's say that. But love, it involves a deeper emotional connection, mutual care, and a sincere relationship. Now, some of that, where the confusion came in with me, with Aaron, I felt that connection. Everything was mutual. Everything
right.
was mutual. So that's where the confusion with me and that young mind came in. You know.
So what
You
you
know,
say present day, it would just be something that would be considered to be a situationship because, like you said, it was consensual and it was between both of you. That was the
yeah.
feelings. That was what y'all
It
was
was
going with. So then back then, it may have been
a
considered to be
situationship,
somewhat lustful, but it changes, and then sometimes from that particular situation, that can
right?
develop into a relationship, and it could develop into
Exactly.
a lasting relationship
For
also.
me, like in modern day time, in today's time, that would be that type of relationship would be considered a situationship because she knew how I was moving around,
Right,
city, city, and all this other stuff. So that was a situationship.
right,
In today's, you know, climate, that would be a situationship.
right.
You
So I
know,
mean that tells it right there because a lot of times things might not be titled for what they are, but I mean, like I said, a lot of people just think something like having lust for someone is sinful.
right, right,
Having the wrong type of love is sinful. Um, I was listening to a podcast where one of the shows that I kind of post, it's called Lovers. She was talking about that's how they
yeah,
initially got together between her and her husband,
right,
and they weren't the furthest thing from their mind was thinking about marriage. It was just like they was in a lustful relationship or they was in a situationship, and old boy had a couple on standby, and she was like, "Nah, I'm just good with you." But there was a certain, they had certain guidelines. They talked to each other. They communicated. They
right.
had understanding.
And shout out to the podcast lovers. Slash put me on them. I hadn't heard of them until Slash would send me these clips, and they get it in,
Hmm.
man. They definitely get it in.
Yeah, remember it was called Lovers and Friends at first, but they changed the name of
Right,
it.
right,
Yeah,
right, right, right.
but I'm trying to think of a personal situation. I can't really I can't really think of one offhand. Perhaps one's going to come to me. I definitely did kind of jot some ideas
Right.
down. Some of the cats I kind of rolled with. They was some rock wallers, man. There was some cats. Feed them raw meat, man. Just
do I have a do I know those cats?
uh. You might be familiar, man. Same stomping
Mm-hmm,
grounds, the same junkyards, or whatever. You know
mm-hmm,
what they say.
mm-hmm.
Sticking to the rivers and the lakes you used to. That
There
type of
you
thing.
go. There you go. There you go. There you go. Let's talk
But
about the key aspects of lust.
mhm,
We talk about intense desire, right?
okay.
Lust is a powerful, overwhelming urge for sexual gratifications. Think about
And
that.
it is one of the seven deadly sins, isn't it?
It definitely is.
Okay.
It definitely is. It definitely is. It also involves seeing a person as a sexual object to
Hmm.
fulfill one's desire rather than a personal person with individual worth.
Right.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
get
And
that. But it
that's some of the
goes.
stuff that that's some of the stuff that I jotted down some of the stuff that I used to do with
Hmm.
Aaron, right? And that
Okay.
second one, that second that was me. It involves seeing a person as a sexual object and fulfill one's own desire. I was only fulfilling my desire,
Right.
you know, looking at
AKA
her like she was
sowing,
a sex object. Go ahead, I'm
AKA
sorry.
sowing your wild oats, you did.
Pretty much. Pretty
Looking
much.
for your queen, but not in Queens.
Pretty
Kind of
much.
reminds me of Boomerang also with the character Marcus and
Is that
or
right?
Jacqueline. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
Right.
So I'm glad you said that. Let's talk about internal experiences, right? Lust is
Hmm.
primary in an internal state of mind, a mental or emotional craving. I was craving both ways mentally because,
Hmm.
she was so smart. She had a, high paying job at a very young
Hmm.
age. She was very intellectual, very smart.
Right.
I mean, emotionally, I was craving that emotionally because of those feelings, because I caught feelings with her and everything, thinking it was
Right.
feelings. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So,
Hmm.
it was very, internal experience for me as well. And I was
Right.
very attracted to her mentally, which drew me to her physically because she was easy on the eyes.
Hmm. And
Yeah.
you picked you was, first out the limo like Charlie Mack also, right?
Yeah. This dude.
But it's
Go
just
ahead.
I remember, like I said, a lot of friends that I was around. Um, yeah, there was some cats, in particular, but it would be that strong, intense 2 weeks or so. Just
Yeah, 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 yeah.
the chase was so it was so
See,
fat.
but
It was a
yeah,
100 yard dash. Just
you see, your
guy.
lane was
Just
your lane was quite different from mine. I was in the R&B lane, and you would actually come over to the R&B lane and produce those records, but you was more in the hip hop lane.
mhm,
Like for me, when you talk about it, was like 2 weeks in bouncing. But for me, it,
right.
it lasted years being that R&B cat, you know,
Mhm.
playing that role, with those R&B cats. And to be honest with you, those R&B cats was a little more vicious than the hip hop guys.
It can be because you going city to city.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
so
Exactly.
I mean I get it, but the music. Nah, it was I came from all types of music, but I was lucky to be able to record hip hop and R and
Yeah.
B, and to be able to kind of intermingle
Well, let's
between the
let's
two.
let's he's being modest, ladies. Let's say record and produce. Let's he's being modest, ladies and gentlemen. The
Right.
opening song was actually produced by 1026, which is DJ Slash. Come on, you're being modest, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So,
Go ahead.
still within this, like I said, did it did it happen that maybe you or her brought to the conversation like, hey, we've been doing this for years. Can we put
We
a label on it or
we never, the ironic, it's funny that you say that. We never talked about it. We never talked about
right?
it. We just enjoyed each other. Every time
Hmm.
I went into town, we enjoyed each other.
Right.
Whether it be going out, spending time, dinner, clubbing, we just enjoyed
Hmm.
each other.
Right.
And
Wow.
still to this day is a real good friendship. You
Wow.
know, if I let's just say if I go there now, I could call her up. Like, hey, what's up?
Sound like you're trying to say, those keys still fit the door. That's what you're saying?
Nah, she's married.
Okay. All
Yeah,
good.
she's married. Yeah, it's all good. Definitely all good. But
So
you know,
how
you
we
know what's so
looking
funny?
on?
Go ahead. I'm
Hmm.
sorry.
How we looking on time? Is it the halfway point or so? We got
Oh
about
no, we're
30
good.
minutes in or so.
Well,
I was gonna say,
here on Conversation Prime Time, we don't restrain ourselves to time limits.
yeah, we doing minutes and we doing moments, so yeah, it's different.
There it is.
But wow. So when's the last time maybe passed a message or
I haven't. It's been about.
Christmas card, the Christmas card with the husband and wife and the kids, or
I'm gonna say
yada
about.
yada yada.
I'm gonna say about 7 years.
Okay.
About
That's,
seven
that's not a
years.
long time either.
No, not at all. Not
In
at all.
marriage they talk about that 7 year itch and whatnot.
Nah, she was good people, man. She was real good people. Real good people.
Right.
Real good people. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk
And
about
as far as
the hormones, right? When we talk about that
hmm
lust thing, right?
right,
Hormones like testosterone. I could actually, relate to that. You know what I'm saying? It's a contributing factor to these feelings as part of a natural biological process and instincts. You know what I'm saying?
right, hmm
So I could totally, and at that young age, man, you can't control your hormones and all that stuff. At that age, you're just gonna go at it. That feeling, when that feeling hit, you're just gonna jump and
hmm
run to it.
sound like you said you can't control your own.
Not at
That's what
that
you saying.
age.
Like you
Not at that age. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't mature enough to control that. I got to be honest. I wasn't good, mature enough to control that. Like in the state, in this mindset that I'm in now, this elevation I'm in
hmm
now, I would be able to control my hormones, even if I was still attracted to her and
right,
see her at this age. I'll be able to control those emotions. Everything that was, bubbling up in me back then, I would be
right.
able to control that. You know what I'm saying?
And we're on a different life cycle also, you know.
Exactly.
And you know,
Exactly.
like when we were in school, with like summertime was 6 months, and then once we got out of school, being on a different life cycle, it
Right.
wasn't 6 months. It was 2.5 months or something like that, as far as the time span.
Right. Right.
So yeah, now you're able to slow it down, process, talk things
Process and
through.
think about it. Exactly.
Right,
Exactly. But I wouldn't,
man.
I wouldn't I don't regret any of that. You know what I'm saying? Again, like I
Right.
said, it shaped me to who I am today. So I don't regret
Hmm.
I don't regret none of those experiences. They're wonderful
Okay.
experiences. Wonderful
Yeah.
experiences.
Yeah, I don't believe in accidents, man. You know, unless it's involving, you know, something reckless. Because even in a car
Exactly.
accident, a lot
Yeah.
of times an accident is caused because you weren't paying attention.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
And
I believe go ahead.
I also don't believe in apologies, man, especially in the climate we're in.
Not at all. Not at all. No. I was someone asked me at an event years ago, um, when I was speaking. I forget where I was, but the girl actually, you never went back and apologized to the women that you just had hanging on. And I was like, how could I do that? I was like, why would I do that? And she was
Right.
offended by me saying that. Right? I'm like, why would I do it? She said,
Yeah.
what do you mean? That's just so mean of you. I said, no, it's not so, because that's what I meant to do. So why would I
Right.
apologize for something I meant?
Well, that sounds like somebody from one of the shows on the Mother Show, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So why would I apologize for that?
But
Why would I
it's
do that?
insincere to play. Let me try to clean this up as if it wasn't
Exactly.
something you didn't mean to
Exactly.
do. Or I mean, you had these
Exactly.
thoughts, and thoughts gives us
And I think
choice.
honestly,
So
you know
that
what?
was your choice.
I think I mentioned that same situation on the mothership.
Okay.
I think I
Right.
did, and they didn't receive it well.
Right.
When I shared the same story with them, they didn't
Hmm.
receive it well. But that
Right.
that I'm being honest. Why would I apologize for something I meant?
Right. Well, I'm more than sure there might have been, you know, a few that, you know, it's like, hey, well, you know, that one I could have this, that, or the third. But
I
trying
agree.
to go
Yep.
back
Yeah.
and right the wrongs of
Yeah.
all sins, it's just
Exactly.
not imaginable. It's impossible.
It's impossible. It's impossible. One I did circle back and try to apologize, but I had done so much damage with her to where
Hmm.
she didn't accept it. But that's around the same time. I was dating, at the same time, let's just say dating,
Right.
allegedly.
Hmm.
Aaron and Monique at the same time,
Right. Well,
along with
you weren't
having
in a
someone
relationship.
exactly, along with having someone back at the house.
Hmm.
And Monique found out about everybody.
Yeah.
And
I'm
I
just
could have
hoping
avoided
these
that because I,
names,
I was
these
I wasn't honest with her.
I'm hoping these names are like the names in the book, though, because
They
so
are.
we can,
It's all
you
good.
know,
It's all good. It's
I
all good.
mean, I don't have no change to get sued. Nowadays, people suing for billions of dollars and whatnot.
Exactly. No, it's all
So
good.
so
It's
so
definitely
I'm
all
gonna
good.
just. We're gonna put up and once we do the mix and the final mastering, we're gonna put allegedly
Yeah.
at
Well, her
certain
name her name was
points.
Monique in Chapter the Delta.
Okay.
So yeah.
So
But yeah,
and I
go
think
ahead.
as far as when you meet people, you're supposed to leave them better than you found them.
I
And I've
totally
always
agree.
said that.
I totally agree.
You know.
Totally agree. But I didn't live
So
by that until later on in life. Got to be honest with
uh, Joe Public, man, you got to live and learn.
you. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely,
So
man,
the
absolutely.
people that seem to walk this perfect path, this yoga and Pilates type lifestyle, that's not always
Right.
true because how you hurt someone, you never really know that, especially if they don't express that they're being hurt or that they've
That's
been
right.
hurt.
That's right. That's right. Hey, we got a
So
couple
you
of people
can't.
here on Instagram, man. We got a couple of people going in and out of this, so we can't see you guys there because the screen is so far away. But appreciate you guys for tuning in to this special conversation in prime time. Like I said in the
Right.
opening of the show, we're gonna drop on Monday for YouTube and over on Taylor Kennedy TV. But today we just decided to stream here live to you guys along
Right.
with Facebook.
Anybody send one down, leaving any comments?
Nah, I'm just seeing them they're just in there listening, checking it out.
Okay.
Yeah,
So it's
that's
on
good stuff. So appreciate you guys tuning
YouTube,
in. Go
YouTube,
ahead. I'm sorry.
IG, TikTok. So it's
I'm
being
sorry. Go ahead.
streamed live on. It's being streamed live on YouTube, IG, and TikTok.
No, IG, Twitch, and Facebook.
Okay. Okay.
TikTok, no, because I gotta do some things with the TikTok thing with the camera over here. So
Okay.
maybe on the next pod we'll do add TikTok to the live stream.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
the
we could
drop,
add it.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we can add it because I have another. I got a new camera, man. I haven't even cracked open yet.
Okay. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Might be getting my garden parks on, man. Right.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm
Might,
talking about, man.
might be garden parks or might be iced tea. It's according to what
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
situation it call for.
Yeah. So what made you come up with such a topic, man, like helplessly and lust?
Because a lot of the topics we talk about, it always seems like if it's not love and you're not in love, it's taboo.
Right.
It's wrong. And you shouldn't do that. It comes with all this judgment, and
Hmm.
everybody's not living that going to heaven life. Everybody's not living by the Bible. Everybody's not living by the Quran
Right.
or the Torah or any of these books as far as life, because when you're living in a sinful world, a lot of times you're committing some of those sins also. And as they say,
Exactly.
he or she without sin cast the first stone.
Exactly. And then the thing about it, man, I've never really been one to judge people. And the thing about that, how you gonna get through life if you don't have experiences?
Right.
How
Well,
will we get through life if we don't have experiences?
with social media, you can create this character of your
Right.
life, and people really think that social media is real and true, but it's not, because
It's
you
really
have
not.
so
No.
many of these people with false lives,
Yeah.
false work places they work, false amounts of salaries and whatnot, where it's
Right.
just so many lies, and people go to believe in their lies, and it's just like,
And I'm gonna go on a limb, and I don't have the numbers to this, but I'm gonna go on a limb. I'm gonna say one
mhm,
percent of social media is truth. People live in their
one.
truth. One
Yeah,
percent.
I get that, because I remember I was following this lady that was a fitness trainer.
Mm-hmm.
And she had a lot of followers and everything, and one day she just decided to take the BBL implants out.
Right.
The numbers dropped, man.
I gotta respect that, man. I gotta
Mhm.
respect that.
But she told her story. She was living in her truth.
Exactly. That's the whole point of it. That's the whole point of it. When I
Right.
first started with the medical fitness journey, right? And
Hmm.
again, I was instructed to start recording at the early stages of this recovery, right? I have 5 years of content, 5 years. So people will call me. It's like, man, I can't believe you on camera showing that arm and you're in that wheelchair and you all this other stuff. But I was instructed to do this. I was instructed by something way higher and better than myself and or any of you guys out there. But you have to live your truth no matter what it is. I respect that totally that she would, get to the point to where she's showing all that stuff. And I'm not surprised that her numbers dropped. Not surprised. I still get calls today. It's like, hey man, I can't believe you recording and you got spasm. When I have spasm, my arm locks up. That don't stop me. You know what I'm saying? I got this workout in. That don't stop me. Slash, he'll be back in a second. But that don't stop me. I still got to get that workout in. Still got to work those kinks out. So, transparency, man, is a must. We don't see a lot of transparency on social media. That's why I said 1% of the entire internet is true. Living that best life. So good stuff, man. We're gonna take a quick break. We'll wait till Slash come back. And there he is, right there. 1 second. Let's pull him back in here. There you
All
go.
right. Yeah, I'm good.
Good, good, good. So yeah, man, we talking about that 1% again. So that one
Okay.
percent, man, who's actually living their best life. Honestly, that's
Hmm.
who's actually living their best life. That one
Right.
percent on social media, like
Hmm.
like me, for instance, right, with this medical fitness. This is the best. I'm having the time of my life within this recovery.
Right.
I'm having the time of my life. You
Hmm.
know, a lot of people say, "Wow, why would you say that, Trent?" Because I'm living my truth.
Right.
There's no
And you're
bells and whistles.
documenting it. Yeah,
Exactly.
you're documenting it, and it's not just something for you, and you're charging people 30 minutes to see you work out or this, that, and the third. And
Exactly.
that's what the 1%. I can agree with that.
Exactly.
It might be a 2.5, but it's people that's giving. It's not people that's taking.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. And it's so easy to once you find that out, it's so easy to live your truth. It's
Mm-hmm.
so rewarding and so refreshing to live your truth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't think twice about jumping in the camera when I'm having spasms. As you know, when I'm having those
Mm-hmm.
spasms, they're brutal. That arm will
Right.
come up here and lock just like this, just like my arm now is now.
Yeah.
It'll
Mm-hmm.
lock in this position until I work it out.
Right.
So, it's so rewarding, because I
Right.
know somebody's going to reach somebody is going to help somebody,
Mm-hmm.
in a similar situation as I am dealing with, nerve damage and muscle damage.
Right. So that muscle memory is definitely something that's important. So that's why you do it as much as you do it.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly. Exactly, man. Exactly. Exactly.
So as
Exactly.
far as um the rest of social media and all these different social media deals and whatnot, like yeah, there's 90 something% of people it's not accurate. It's not really something that's healthy. It's not really something that you can take from it. It's just a bunch
Yeah.
of fugazi.
Exactly. Exactly. And that brings me to a podcast I did with D on the mothership last Sunday. We talk about the algorithms, and I was cutting some tape the other day, and I was talking about intersections. Like if you look at algorithms like intersections, you know what I'm saying? You could veer off that first intersection. There's a lot of chaos, hate, all that type of stuff. Go to the
Mm-hmm.
next. You got motivational, got prime time stuff. You got
Right.
Coach Captain Nutrition Edition down the third
Mm-hmm.
lane, down the intersection. You know, it's up to the individual. It's up to us what we choose.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's up to
Yeah.
us. If you going down that chaotic side of it, you going down that hateful side of it. That's within
Mm-hmm.
you. That's in you.
Yeah.
You know.
Because as far as whatever we might be talking right now, and then we jump on social media. Nine
Right.
times out of 10, it's reading from this, and it's going to apply to that. Whether it's
Exactly.
clothes, whether it's something you shopping for, or hey man, I'm thinking about going to such and such a restaurant or something like that.
Yep.
Those things are coming up in your algorithms.
That's
And
right.
if your algorithms is, Real Housewives of this or Love and Hip Hop of that, you're gonna get those type of things
That's what's gonna feed you. The
in
algorithm's
your
gonna
on
feed
your
you
feed.
exactly what you want. Yeah.
Yes. And
Totally
like
get
you
it.
said, if it's that hate, if it's that bigotry or whatever that vitriol, that's what you're gonna get. That's what's gonna come
Exactly.
across your screen.
That's right.
And
That's right.
unless you
You're absolutely right.
reprogram, you have to reprogram your algorithms ever so often also.
Exactly. Exactly. Because ladies and gentlemen, after 60 seconds, they got you.
So
Sometimes less than
that's
60 seconds,
that's the whole thing.
they got
And
you.
it's about time. If they can get you
Really?
locked in for 15 seconds,
They got you.
That's a win.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Totally, totally. Every time I get these messages on Facebook talking about, hey, try doing this or try doing that. Um,
Hmm.
Lengthen your video, for more exposure. Nah, you're gonna get exactly what I give you. I'm not
Right.
gonna. Nah, I don't operate like that.
But you
I
have
don't
to
operate
think
like that.
who benefits from that?
Exactly, exactly. Because
Because
if I extend the video, yeah, I get a share of the monetization. Yeah, I get a share of those earnings, but they get a deeper cut.
right.
I
But
come from
once
the
they
world of
start running,
publishing, ladies and gentlemen. So
yeah,
yeah,
once they
go ahead.
start
What you say?
running ads, yeah, when they start running ads on it, I hate watching TV shows and whatnot where it's just
Exactly. Yeah,
15 minutes ads, 15 minutes ads, 15. It's like you can't really get into the flow of it.
that's right. That's right. Yeah. So I'm always getting these messages from those guys telling me, why don't you extend your video and this and that? Yeah, you want it because you want to attach that ad to that.
Right.
You know, nah. I've been feeling that day.
And
That's how
then,
they're gonna get that. That's how they're gonna get the content. So
right. And then if you start doing everything they say to do, next thing you know, they'll be running it themselves.
you already know that. Yeah, you already know that. But I
Right.
only
But
put,
if
I
they,
post promos in it, as you know. I only post
uh,
promos over there to get them to go to TK Media.
right.
So that's it.
Because once you do that, then you start having these, okay, so what shows are similar to this show? And they try to get you
Exactly.
in that rotation of that.
Exactly.
And it'd be like those music streaming sites. You listen to one artist, and the next thing you know, they send you down a rabbit hole with someone
Exactly.
else that's not even
Yep.
comparable to that one, and then another person that's not comparable to either one
That's
of
right.
those. And next thing you know, you so far off of the tangent in the rabbit hole that you like, man, what was
Hmm.
I even listening to?
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely right, brother. Yeah, absolutely right. You're
But
absolutely
man,
right.
I'm really trying to backtrack on something as far as, like I said, as far as dealing with lust,
Hmm.
as far as personal or really kind of close
Yeah.
proximity of me. And it's like perhaps I just wasn't around it enough, or
Right.
just like you know it's something that I knew that it wasn't to be taken seriously too, so I kind of just positioned my way away from it and from them.
Right.
But like I said, it's just something that happens, and it's like it's kind of like like mom's milk. It's just something that happens, and people
Something
gravitate
happened,
toward
man.
it, and
Yeah.
and it's just because you're in your interactions or the way you're acting, as far as just being this crush or this insatiable lust or whatever.
Right.
It's not the end all be all. It's
No,
not
it's not, man.
something people should judge you on. Yeah,
Exactly. But
like
go ahead. I'm sorry.
like the song say, man, we fall down, but we get up, man.
Man. Like I said, with experiences, man, how can we live without experiences? You know what I'm saying? So,
Well,
if you
people think they're part of that person that walked the earth, that one person that walked the earth that was that was perfect.
yeah, they,
People
they
will paint
tried
that
it. They
picture.
tried, but yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
they paint
they
that
tried
picture, man.
at all. At all, man.
Yeah,
At
they'll
all.
Photoshop themselves as this, that, and the third. I mean, people do it every day, but they get exposed every day also. Just like
Exactly.
that dating coach lately that's charging people what $8,000 for a consultation or whatnot.
Exactly. Yeah,
And,
man.
and but she's out here talking about how she don't need this and don't need that, and so it's like which one is it?
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. You're absolutely right, man. So let's talk about internal experience. We talk about experiences, right? As
Hmm.
as it relates to lust, right? Lust is a
Right.
primary internal state of mind and a mental or emotional craving, which
Right.
is okay sometimes, which is
Right.
okay.
Well, well, some people say thinking about it is a sin, but at the same time, people have thoughts.
Yeah,
That doesn't
yeah,
necessarily mean you're going to act on those particular thoughts
exactly. Yeah. You know,
because
for
not
for my
only
Christian
do
folks, I would actually say I would have to ask this question to them:
mhm,
is the thought sinful? If I'm having that lusting for that woman
right.
and thought, is that the sin? I haven't manifested. I haven't went up. When I haven't activated that feeling, but I thought
Mhm.
about it.
It's according to what Bible you're reading, what Bible you're studying. Whether it's the Old Testament or it's the
Right, right, right.
uh, KJV version or the new modern whatever version or whatever.
Yeah,
It's according to which one you on, and then you have some wiggle room whether or not which version you're applying to. And
right.
then you can go to confession and confess it all, and next thing you know, Jermaine
You're
be praying
forgiven.
in Usher, man. These
Exactly,
are my confessions.
exactly. Then you're forgiven by this human. Okay, I get it.
Right.
Totally get it. Totally get it.
Let me do it again. Some Hail Marys and whatnot.
Exactly. Let's say that, and we'll be done with it. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I
And
get
for
it.
in the words of Eddie Murphy, Domini Ominous.
I get it.
But yeah,
Yeah,
like I said, it's just a thing of, man. It's like it's not the end all be all. If there's no scarlet A, if you had these type of relationships or these situationships or whatnot, and I
right.
think personally, I think there's more of those than the pure white bread, uh, long lasting Joe Nathan Anthony and Ann type relationships. I would say.
Yeah, yeah. I agree. I could agree with that. I could agree with that. I could definitely
Because
agree with that, man.
there's a lot of stepping out. There's a lot of she was checking in, I was checking out.
Right, right.
And people just don't want cop to that plea.
Exactly. Well, again, man, like I said, man, what do we have if we can't, live through those experiences and take them with us, right? What
Right.
what do we have?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What do
You
we
just
have?
have a bunch of fantasies, like Morris said,
Exactly. Exactly.
a
Exactly.
one-way love is just a fantasy.
That's right. That's right.
So
And truth be told, every single escapade,
mhm.
that was a growth level for me. It wasn't yeah, I didn't you notice I didn't say a notch under my belt. That was a
Right,
growth level.
right,
Every escapade was a growth level. I elevated
mhm,
after every experience, which led me
mhm,
to here.
right.
Think about that for a second.
And the way I look at it, I'm wise enough to know who am I to judge whether it's somebody who's in a relationship, a situationship,
That's right.
engaged, marriage, divorce, or trying to get their old thing back.
That's right. That's right. I always getting these emails and stuff from folks talking about who are you to be talking about relationships. I'm somebody who's actually had multiple relationships, marriage, girlfriends throughout my life.
Right.
So that makes me qualified.
Well, uh, you'd have to ask who's qualified. If you ask me, who am I? Who's qualified?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
are you gonna take this information from someone that's a monk or is in a monastery that all they do is pray and this that and the third, and what relationship information can you really take from someone who's not in a
Exactly.
relationship? And even if it's somebody that's in a marriage, their
Yeah.
relationships aren't your relationships. That isn't the
Exactly.
next person's relationships. So if
Exactly.
someone is just trying to give you information, you don't have to take it wholeheartedly. I mean, you don't have to.
Exactly. That's the whole point. Yeah. But we get so, here in society, here in the States, we get so locked into gotta have that certification or whatever it is. Yeah,
Right.
as you know, I didn't even renew my certification for as the coaching because it
Hmm.
wasn't needed. I don't, D always talking about why you not going to renew it. No, I'm not. For what? For what? I'm
But
talking
see,
about life experiences.
that's that European mind state of
There you go.
licensing and schooling, and
Exactly. Exactly.
it's being taxed in the whole nine. And the whole process is just to get paid at every step. Because within the African traditions, aka AI, which a lot of people now are saying is African intelligence, these things were things that was brought out of us from the
Exactly.
ancestors,
Yeah.
and being able to have these conversations with our elders while they're still here, and maybe even
Exactly.
one they've gone, on, as they say, going on to glory.
Right.
Some people just have particular uh, skill sets to where they
Do
can
anything
write
to
a
be honest
book.
with
They they may have been a mechanic, but the
you. Yeah.
mechanic can write a book on another topic because it's something he's lived through, he's seen, he's experienced. He's gotten this information from father,
Exactly.
grandfather, grandmother, the whole nine. So yeah, you can
I
judge me, but
I'm
I
glad you
mean,
brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up. It reminds me of a good friend of mine who's she's a retired professor, right? And
mhm,
when we met, we talk and whatever, and she teach literature. She still to this day teach literature, right?
okay,
And so over lunch we were talking. She was like, "Where did you go for literature?" I was like, "Nowhere." She's like, "What do you mean? You wrote all these books? You've written all these books,
right,
and you at nowhere?" She said, "So you had the audacity to write a book?" I said, "Several books,
mhm,
several books. You know,
right,
published books. Let's say that several
right,
published books. You know what I'm saying?"
hmm,
So I've never been one to be chained down to I got to do this and gotta what I'm saying and put these letters
right.
behind my name. I don't need that. Me personally,
I
I don't.
mean, it would be nice, but at the end of the day, either you
Yeah.
know what you know
You know
or
exact. There you
you
go.
don't,
You know what you
because
know.
so many people are faking it and not even making it. They're just faking it because I mean, how did they know Oprah was going to be Oprah? Someone saw it in
Exactly.
her, like, hey, we can take her to the next level, and next thing you know,
Exactly.
she's Oprah Winfrey.
Exactly. And honestly, man, when I started writing these books, all I did was take it from writing songs to books.
Hmm.
I mean,
Right,
it came easy to me, man. It
right,
came very easy to me. So I didn't need anybody to help me, anyone to help me structure a book and all this. That stuff came easy to me.
right.
Came
It
very
was
easy
already
to me.
in you,
It was in me. So yeah, you know. My
but you
first
still don't
book,
want to hear it.
yeah, my first book, I edited that book myself.
Hmm. Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So this stuff came easy to me. It was natural, it was organic. So
Hmm. I mean, then you
I'm
have
not
all
I'm not
these.
boasting by no means, but
Mhm.
writing has become easy to me. I was writing since I was 4.
See, the thing is, you have these self-help books also. Writing for dummies or writing a book for dummies, and then you have
Exactly.
these
Yeah.
computer programs and whatnot where it's like you could input your writings into it and then it'll structure and format it.
Right.
So it's not about the audacity or needing, you know, uh, to have this extensive literary background, and
You really
just
don't. You
because
don't need it.
that's something, yeah, just because you're a math teacher does not mean you'll become a mathematician.
Exactly.
That's something different.
Exactly.
Just because you teach science does not mean you're a scientist.
Exactly. Shout out to Hilton for tuning in over there on Facebook. What up, Hilton? What up, bro? I see you. Hilton
What up?
Nicholas.
What
Good
up?
stuff, man.
Okay.
Good stuff. Good
So
stuff. Good stuff.
it's just been a lot of shows that we've done over the years, 20
Hmm.
something years, and hundreds and maybe thousands of shows and whatnot. And like I
Right.
said, I just think there's always two sides and three sides to stories and whatnot. It's like, love gets such a reputation, but in this hateful world we live in, it can't be that
Right.
much love. So it
Yeah.
has to be some other things that's going on. You know,
Exactly.
it's just like I said, you can frown or you can yuck at someone else's yum, but you never know. I mean, I've known people that I didn't think would be married longer than 6 months that
That's
wound
real
up being
talk.
in a
Yeah.
15, 20 year relationship because I didn't think that they were compatible, but obviously there was some type of attraction.
Exactly.
So I mean, you never know. So who am I to judge that?
That's real talk. That's definitely real talk, man. Real talk. Definitely real talk. Appreciate you guys going over there to the Conversation of Trent business page. See you guys over there. Really appreciate that. If you guys want to like and subscribe and all that stuff, just follow the conversation page over there on the business side of things. So really appreciate you guys going in over there. Good stuff.
And also it's the fall right now, so before you know it, we'll be rocking the conversations merch again this year, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward. I want to wear this sweatshirt so bad, but
Right.
it's still kind of warm. So still kind of
You know,
warm. Yeah, man.
we get 4 seasons, but those 4 seasons
They
sometimes
don't
it
show up
look
here.
like it's 2 weeks. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, they'll like fall. Like be honest with you, the first day of fall is like on the 22nd. That's I
Right.
think that's tomorrow. What is that? Tomorrow or Monday or something like that?
It's coming up. Yeah. My
Wow.
last day of work was the 18th, so yesterday
Yeah,
was
man.
the 19th. Today's the 20th, so that'll
So
be
I'm looking
Monday.
forward to. Yeah, I'm looking forward to wearing my medical fitness merch again, man. And that's available at
Perfect.
the TK shop at
Hmm.
tayken.com. Tayken.com. So
Right.
I'm looking forward to wearing those sweatshirts and all that stuff again.
Hmm.
Because I really don't like the summer. I really don't.
I'm not a summer and I'm not a winter dude either. I kind of like fall,
Exactly.
a little cool,
Just right
the
weather. Just
leaves.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just not the extremes of the super heat or the super cold,
Yeah.
where you got to layer up.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
like I
So,
said, as far as like I said, a lot of the shows and a lot of discussion, it's just a little bit too prim and proper with this love and this this the Romello type conversations and the
right.
poking. Well, why did you and how did you they let you and how they got it's not a one person thing. I
That's
mean,
real talk.
nobody's Jim Jones in conversations and relationships and whatnot.
That's real talk. That's real talk. That's real
I
talk.
just don't get that, women and men both do these type of things and have these type of thoughts and feelings and act out on them. It's
Yeah.
not one sided.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely, man. And
I've been stuck watching this movie, man. I'm have to put you on this movie, man. It's very similar. It's starring Jake Gyllenhaal and Anne Hathaway,
hmm
and it's called Love and Other Drugs, and it's about a guy that's a drug rep. He gets into it with this woman that suffered from a disease, but he's
hmm
getting ready to start selling Viagra.
it's on
But they
Netflix.
have this. It's on HBO Max right now,
Okay. All right.
so I'm gonna put you up on it. But
Okay.
it's one of those type relationships, and then eventually it gets to I would guess the other side, the walk off into the sun type of a side. But
Right.
it
Right.
started with this
Okay.
lustful type thing, and it was
Gotcha.
initiated by by the woman.
Right. No, again, man, with that lust, man, sometimes lust is good if it's healthy.
Right. As long as it's
You know
not
what I'm saying?
toxic.
Exactly, exactly. So the holy rollers and the Bible packing folks, oh, that lust word, that's sinful. It's sinful.
Hmm.
In
Right.
my opinion, if it's healthy lust, let's say for instance, if I was married, I'm lusting my wife. I'm lusting.
Hmm.
Is that a sin for me to lust my wife? Lust after my wife. Can't wait to get home and get it in.
Right.
know what I'm saying? So,
Mhm.
let's try let's talk about the healthy side of lust. You know what I'm saying? Let's think
Right.
about the healthy side of lust instead of always,
Mhm.
making it taboo and all this other stuff. Like Slash
Right.
said, when you talk about lust, oh, it's taboo. You know what I'm saying? Not if it's healthy. Not if it's toxic,
Yeah.
yeah, it's bad. But if it's
Right.
healthy, I don't see nothing wrong with it. It's my personal
Well,
opinion. Yeah.
it's a word, but then at the same time, there's action, and perhaps it's an action word. But I mean, you
Right,
just
right,
might have those type of strong feelings, but you just attracted to the flesh.
right, right.
So you who knows what comes from that? I mean, like I said, a lot of these relationships started as one thing, and it developed into something else with conversation and understanding.
That's right. That's
And
right.
like I said, I just don't like the tone sometimes. That's it's just you know you're wrong. You're wrong, and it's not like that. It takes two
Yeah.
always.
Takes two to
You don't
tangle,
see
man.
one.
Takes two to
You don't
tangle.
see one. Look, you don't see one person dancing or dancing with the stars. Huh?
Takes two to tangle, man. And most of the time, again, and I'll go back to this situationship with Aaron. Most of the
Hmm.
times when we're in lustful situations, it's healthy. Be honest with you, because it was a healthy situationship. We
Hmm.
talked about a variety of things, so it wasn't always taking her to bed or she taking me to bed. It was very healthy exchange.
And
Very healthy.
what about that saying, "ends to a means,"
Yeah,
or
yeah.
I'm sorry, a means to an end?
Means to an end. Yeah,
Sometimes, you know, you're working 50, 60 hours a week, and you don't really have that much time to,
yeah.
to hit the social pleasure club type of events and this, that, and the third, and parades or second lines or whatever you're into, line dancing or bake
Right.
sales or Bible studies and whatnot. And you like, this is what I need right now, or this is what I want right now, and I'm not the one to judge. I don't have any black robes in my closet, man.
At all. Yeah, we definitely don't sit on a high panel of judges here on Taylor Kinney platform. We do not. We do not sit on a high panel of judges. We don't do that.
Oh, you mean you talking about this show?
This show, I'm talking about this show. I'm
Oh,
talking about this.
yeah. I'm
Slash,
not. Yeah, I'm not.
Slash is being a little petty here. He's being a little petty
Mm,
today.
no, I'm just saying. I just wanted you to specify.
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah, yeah, yeah,
because God sits high and He looks low.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You got some people that think they sitting on their high horse and they looking low, but
Ladies and
nah.
gentlemen,
I'm just
what
saying.
that said, we have multiple podcasts on the platform. We call it the mothership. It's a conversation with Trent and friends, and we have one over in France with nutritious coach Catherine and PrimeTime here on the platform. So Slash has been a little
Right.
petty with a certain crew.
Nah, it's not that it's petty. It's just let's call it balls and strikes.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
let's
yeah,
not be loosey goosey with the rules, as they say.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Exactly.
so
One thing you'll
you know
count on Slash is telling you the truth.
I mean, what they say. What is that saying? I'm saying truth without grace is just being mean. So
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna call out the truth, but I'm gonna do it with grace.
Exactly, exactly. That's a beautiful thing, man. That's a very beautiful thing. Good stuff, man. As always, ladies and gentlemen, you could catch us on Apple Podcasts, preferably Apple Podcasts, because Slash and I are Apple users. So we
Or
truly appreciate if you
Spotify.
got
Yeah. Or
exactly
Spotify.
Spotify, yep,
Hmm.
Spotify, YouTube, all that good stuff. Taylor King
Amazon
TV and
Music.
all that stuff. Yep,
Yeah.
Amazon Music as well. Yep, absolutely.
YouTube.
Yep. Well, we're gonna be dropping this episode on YouTube Monday. So Slash and I decided that we'll stream live for a few folks here on the Meta platform. Then we'll drop this pod on
Right.
Monday. So it'll be
Right.
dropped on Monday on YouTube and on Apple Podcasts on Monday at our regularly scheduled time.
Right.
So
We'll
good
start
stuff,
shooting
man. Good stuff.
some stuff for the Patreon page also.
Absolutely.
So then you get
Absolutely.
some early access to different things when we like record a show tonight. If it wasn't live, then you won't see it until Monday. You'll have access
Exactly.
to it possibly Friday night, Saturday, or something if we do it like that.
Exactly. Good stuff. And tell our folks again what's that platform called, Slash?
The platform, which platform you
The
talk?
the one you just the one you just spoke of. Patreon? Is it called Patreon?
Patreon. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the Patreon of the Trenton Friends or Trent and what is it? Conversations.
I think it's
How you set
conversations.
it
I
up? Okay.
think
Yeah.
it's conversations.
Like I said, it's going to give you access to bonus content, early content, and maybe just some different things as far as some content that won't be shown either here or live. Just some bonus information stuff that'll be set up for that Patreon.
Exactly. Exactly. Slash is quite more technical than I am these days, so I kind of follow his lead on all that stuff because yeah, very technical, very
Try,
technical.
try to get it up, yes, sir. Make
Exactly,
it more,
exactly, exactly.
convenient and friendly for everybody to be able to, be able to get it and do what they need to do with it.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And give us a thumbs up, man, if you enjoyed the opening piece that Slash produced as far as the music for the prime time conversation in prime time, produced by Slash for 1026 Entertainment. That's all him,
Sir,
all him. Yeah,
leave a
good stuff,
comment
man.
on the show, subscribe to the shows, and like it, talk about it, suggest some show topics, some things you want to see or things you want us to talk about, or on each platform. Let's go from there.
Exactly, good stuff. And check out, I did a podcast on Thursday. I do it every Thursday with Catherine over in France, nutrition coach Catherine in France. We did one on inflammation this past Thursday. Very informative. You guys go head over to Apple,
Right,
YouTube, or whatever, and check it out. Or if you want a plethora of podcasts, subscribe to Apple. It's all there. But
right,
we talked about inflammation and how what's an inflammational diet. You know what I'm saying? So when you think about inflammation, you think about, oh, it's bad. But actually, inflammation is like a signal coming from the body to tell you something is wrong when you feel
right,
pain. So very informative podcast with always with the nutrition coach Catherine Ketu over in France.
mm-hmm.
Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. You will be quite surprised of the knowledge that you acquire over
Parlez-vous français?
there.
I want
Exactly.
to say,
Exactly.
let me say what up to Sister Catherine over there.
Yeah, we're
Give her
gonna
the
definitely
shouts
do a
out.
pod.
Right. It's always interesting. It's always informative and definitely on point. Building with our sisters from the
Yeah,
motherland all the way to Europe on the other side of the pond, as they might say, over here to this dirty river. You heard?
exactly. Exactly.
Yes, sir.
One thing Slash will do is embrace his people and embrace his culture. That's what I'm
Yes,
talking
sir.
about. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
You want to
Because
close out for him, Slash?
yes, sir. Thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you guys for your time, for your patience, your understanding. Keep God first. Keep them kids close. Crack those books. Uh, do what you got to do. Seek the truth. Get rid of those lies and whatnot. Tune in next week to us. God say the same.
You guys be epic.
Peace.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome to a special conversation. That's right, with Prime Talk, conversations in prime time, with none other than DJ Slash.